Hi, I'm Ashlyn, and I'm a registered dietitian at Kroger, and today I'm going to be answering questions that you submitted through our Instagram account. So our first question: is it true if you take vitamin supplements, you just pee them out? Yes and no. There are two different kinds of vitamins. We have fat-soluble vitamins, which require a fat source to get absorbed, and we have water-soluble vitamins, which just require water to get absorbed. The fat-soluble vitamins are completely absorbed, whereas water-soluble vitamins, if there's an excess amount, we will pee out that excess amount. However, that doesn't mean that it's not worth taking. It's very hard to get all the nutrients we need through a standard diet, so the supplements could really help us fulfill some needs and gaps that we have in our diet. Just be assured that if you see a label that has 1000% of the daily value of a certain vitamin, that probably means it's water soluble, and you can take it and your body will just go ahead and excrete that excess amount. Okay, let's check out the second question. Best airport or travel snack? It's going to be up to personal preference, but some things we like to look out for would be protein and fiber. Protein and fiber is going to keep you satiated and regular. We all know that traveling can cause some digestion issues sometimes. But if you're looking at a package, you want to aim for something that has about 5 to 7 grams of protein and at least 4 grams of fiber to go ahead and fulfill some of those needs. It's also really important to stay hydrated. Let's see what else you guys asked. How can I get enough protein as a vegan? This is an instance where it would be a really smart idea to talk with a registered dietitian, as getting in enough protein as a vegan can sometimes require some planning or a learning curve if you're new to a vegan lifestyle. There are a lot of foods that contain protein that are plant-based, such as beans, whole grains, and even certain vegetables are higher in protein. Nowadays too, it's easier than ever to go ahead and incorporate some plant-based forms of protein due to meat alternatives, dairy alternatives, even artisan cheese alternatives, and fish alternatives. So ask your registered dietitian for certain products that might help you meet that requirement. Okay, what else? How do I get my young kids to eat veggies? The number one thing would be get them curious about food. My dad always said food is an adventure. So you want to ask them, what would you like to have tonight? Squash or broccoli? That also gives them a sense of autonomy, and they're more likely to try the food if they help pick it out. Ask them about how the food tastes, sounds, smells. How does that carrot crunch? Wow, who can make their carrot crunch harder or louder? You can also pair new foods with foods they already like, so chopping up some broccoli and tossing it in their macaroni and cheese. And it's okay to tell them that there's broccoli in there and see how they like it. And it's okay if they don't want to eat it. You don't want to force them to eat it, command them to eat it, or be really insistent. That can just cause a power struggle between you and your kid and create a negative experience around that food or the eating experience in general. Okay, next question. Do I always need to buy organic produce? No. The main thing is just consuming fruits and vegetables. And if your budget doesn't allow for organic, that's okay. If your budget does allow organic, go for it. Kroger does offer all options, non-organic and organic options. But the guideline is to have 6 to 8 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, so that's the ultimate goal. Okay, let's see what the next question is. How much water do I really need? This is going to be based on a number of different factors. It's going to be based on your gender, where you live, how active you are, if you're sweating or not. So this could be something you can ask your registered dietitian about. From a general sense, the national academies recommend that women get in at least 11.5 cups of water a day, and that men get in 13.5 cups of water a day. It sounds like a lot, but don't worry. All liquids can count towards this water intake, and that includes things like broths, teas, even your morning cup of coffee. It also includes foods that contain water. So watermelon, fruits, vegetables, that counts towards your water intake as well. Okay, let's see what else. How much protein should I have every day if you're a female over 55? This is a great question. Throughout every decade of our life, our nutrition needs change a little bit just because of the natural aging process, but especially for females because of all of the hormone fluctuations that happen throughout our life. Now, one of the things that happen to both men and women as we age is our testosterone decreases and our natural growth hormone decreases. This makes it harder to build and retain muscle mass. And muscle mass is so important for mobility and longevity. Therefore, protein needs are going to increase a little bit. To prevent deficiency, they recommend 0.08 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. But for a little bit more optimization, you want to aim for 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. If you need help with those calculations, or you feel like you're not getting in enough protein in a day, a registered dietitian can help you strategize and calculate those needs for you. It's also important to note that protein needs are going to change based off of your height, weight, and other things. Okay, next question. Is diet soda actually better for you than regular soda? This is a little bit gray in the research world, so let's base things off of what we already know. We already know that the dietary guidelines for Americans is that they recommend no more than 10% of your daily calories come from added sugar. So for example, if you're following a 2,000 calorie diet, you don't want any more than 20 grams of added sugar. Now, in a regular can of soda, it can have up to 40 grams of added sugar. That's double the amount that we're supposed to have in a whole day in one single can. Whereas diet soda has 0 grams of added sugar. However, some people just don't feel very comfortable with diet soda, and so they want something else. It's also important to note that moderate intakes of diet soda have been shown to be safe. But there are lots of brands these days that are using alternative sweeteners like stevia and monk fruit. These are 0-calorie sweeteners that are derived from plant sources instead of man-made artificial sweeteners. So that could be an option for you if you're interested. Next question. Brown rice versus white rice benefits. We have been told very often that brown rice is superior to white rice. However, when you actually look at them, they're not really that different. Brown rice might have a little bit more fiber and maybe a little bit more protein, but they're pretty similar. So just opt for the one that you like the most. However, with either one, you just want to be mindful of portion size. That's the main takeaway. Good question. Let's see what else. Most underrated fruit or vegetable for health, and most underrated for taste. Well, when it comes to health, all fruits and vegetables have their own superpower benefit. However, I really like recommending berries for their antioxidant power, but they're also the easiest to incorporate. All you have to do is wash them. You can have them plain, you can have them on yogurt, in your cereal, in a smoothie, on top of your dessert. The possibilities are endless. Super easy to go ahead and incorporate. Now, when it comes to most underrated for taste, it's gonna be due to personal preference. However, if you wanna ask me, I love a good passion fruit. In fact, I think they're so tart and sour, it's pretty comparable to a sour candy. I like buying the frozen pieces and popping those in when I want a good sour tart taste. Try it out. You'll thank me later. Okay, enough about me. Next question. Is it okay to eat dessert every day? Here at Kroger, we believe that all foods fit. There's nothing wrong with having a sweet treat every once in a while. Moderation can look different for everybody too. Sometimes that means having a small sweet treat at the end of the day, and others means going a little bit bigger, maybe once or twice a week. It's all dependent on you. We all crave sweets, and sometimes it's hard to focus on moderation or portion control. that's when a registered dietitian can help you out as well. One little strategy you might impart is to make your dessert an event. Instead of snacking on cookies all throughout the day, which just increases your sugar cravings more, pick a special time of day. Get a fancy bowl, maybe a fancy glass of milk, and make it feel special. This will increase satiation and make it taste even sweeter. All right, almost done, but not yet. Overall thoughts on caffeine. The FDA says that 400 milligrams of caffeine a day is safe for most people. However, most registered dietitians might tell you more about 200 milligrams per day, just to stay on the caution or safe side. Some energy drinks already have that much caffeine in just one can, or even sometimes more. And then if you're having coffee on top of that, or tea, the caffeine can get pretty high. People metabolize caffeine at a different rate as well. Some people metabolize it fast, which means they can consume a little bit more caffeine and not feel the effects as much. And some people are slow at metabolizing caffeine, meaning it stays in their system longer, which can make them more prone for heart palpitations, anxiety, racing heart. So something to just be cautious of. Check in with your body to see how caffeine is affecting you. And if you need caffeine alternatives, there are things like herbal teas, matcha teas, even mushroom coffees and teas these days. There's a lot on the market, but ultimately it's up to you and how you feel. Also, just be aware that caffeine can really impact your sleep. So if you're someone who's having trouble falling asleep at night or staying asleep, that could be a sign that you're having too much caffeine throughout the day. Okay, last question. What can a dietitian do for you? There's a myriad of different types of dietitians out there. There are school nutrition dietitians, food production management dietitians, sports dietitians, clinical dietitians. We're kind of everywhere. But if you're working with a telenutrition dietitian like me, we'll focus on something called MNT, or medical nutrition therapy. Let's say you were diagnosed with diabetes recently, or another medical condition that might impact your nutrition. I can help educate you about what nutrients you should be focusing on, maybe foods that you might need to decrease or avoid, and other things that could impact your day-to-day life when it comes to nutrition. But we can also do a lot more. We can help you shop for healthy foods, help with meal planning, teach you how to get your kids to eat more veggies, discuss water intake. Any of the questions we went through today, we can do in an appointment and go a little bit further and have it personalized to you. So, if you're ready to make an appointment with a registered dietitian, you can go online and schedule an appointment today. Hope to see you soon.